but that's okay. At least we get the recording going with only me saying a few seconds of things. Maybe we should put recording stopped at the end too from now on, but I think I'm doing pretty good at that. All right, so we are recording. Interesting bits. I had no new interesting bits today, mainly because I'm way behind on my email. But my flower beds are now weeded, so that was a trade-off I made this weekend. The Creative Commons has a conference going on. It's a pay-what-you-can conference. I announced this last time. I'm just going to throw it up there quickly again because it was kind of cool. And then if you are looking to get, if you did your mid-year review and you said, "Wow, I didn't get a lot done," or "I didn't get a lot of things to mention," we do have this ocean thing going on, ways to impact a project outside of. Sorry, I'm trying to hit something here. Ways to impact a. All right, I can't talk and accurately hit a button at the same time. Yeah, so this is a project. It's an open source project. Your contributions do count if you were to do something like this. And there are 2 days before the end of our semester, or 4 days if you consider the 28th and the 29th, the 11th and the 12th, July and August, where they're going to have kind of a community push to get some stuff done. So if you make any contributions, if you attend that, if you work on that, put any of your contributions in your list of contributions, and it will count. If you're looking at your mid-year stuff and deciding that there really wasn't enough there to make a big impact, well, there are other ways to do it, and it will also give you a break from, for example, butting your head up against continuous issues with Docker or NPM or whatever other things you're trying to do. All right, so here's the important stuff. Next week I'm not going to be here. One of the caveats I did this summer was I told when they were scheduling it that I needed to take a break in the beginning of August, and this is that time. So what I'm planning on doing, there will not be class on Tuesday. I will give you all, whether you show up or not, I will give you all credit for attendance. All right? You should plan on meeting in your small groups, and I'm hoping that the mentors will kind of keep you honest on that a little bit. But regardless, there's not going to be a class. We're not going to run anything here. We're not going to have an online session. I am kind of looking for a YouTube video. Maybe I'll do something from the open source software class just to put up for you guys to look at. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I haven't found anything yet, and but I might throw up something for you guys to review. It would just be a YouTube video, something like that. Nothing really serious. The main thing is continue working in your small groups, continue getting stuff done. We're getting right toward the end of the semester, and having a day just to work on stuff is not a bad idea anyway. On Friday, I didn't want to let you go an entire week without a class, particularly because of that last bullet. Presentations start the following Tuesday. I wanted there to be at least a reminder that this is a class and you guys are taking it and you need to start preparing your presentations. So on Friday, Professor Stewart or possibly Professor Goldschmidt will come down here and will run the podium. We have Professor Makis, who joins us all by WebEx. He's actually probably going to run the slides with help from Nia and Hunter. Nia and Hunter will handle, I believe, the attendance for that day. They have access to venue. We got them all set up. So on Friday we'll be here. It will count as an attendance. You will have to show up. And again, that's mainly to remind you that we have presentations starting the following Tuesday, and make sure that everybody's ready for that. And to make sure that you have a chance to get together during the week. We're right up at the end of the schedule after that, right? This is the July 30th. Your last day to remove pass or no credit is this Friday, I believe. And then we have the week I'm off. That's the first week in August. And then we have 2 weeks till the end of the semester. So we are getting really close there. You can see the little arrow. We're right about at the end of the semester. We're at the end of that part where all we have to worry about is executing on projects, and we're entering the wrap-up period. So what does the wrap-up period mean? It means you have to do a presentation, and you're going to have to take some time to pull together a presentation on your project. I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a minute. It doesn't mean that after you've done your presentation, that's it. You can't commit anymore. We will continue to take commits from you guys, continue to take open source contributions right up until the last day of the semester, which is that August 20th day, right? So do your presentation, prepare your presentation, take a day or two in advance of it, get it done, present it to your mentors, or half a week, get it done, present it to your mentors, get feedback, revise it a little bit, and then immediately start working on your projects again, because your presentation doesn't have to be the final state, right? We want to know what you've accomplished. We want to know what was significant. We want to know who's on your team. We want to know, how you overcame challenges, all that cool stuff. We don't necessarily have to have all of your project tied up in a little bow and ready for sale on the App Store or Google Play, etc. There are no more workshops scheduled, not yet. I'm still hoping we may get a couple more late ones in. I'm still looking for something on the I'm blanking on what it was. We were looking for a little presentation on some of the well, it will come to me. But so there are still some opportunities that may come up, but officially we're done for right now. Again, I remain open. If you guys want to do one, let me know. Now to the good stuff. Mid-year review. On Friday, we asked you guys to submit mid-year reviews. It was kind of disappointing. We get a lot of questions about how am I doing, or what do I need to do to do well in the class. But only 16 of you submitted mid-year reviews for us to look over. I've gone through all 16, so everybody has at least one review. I know Professor Makis went through a couple of them, or went through, I think, probably about half of them. So there's about half of you have about 2 reviews, and I think there were even a couple of mentors who went through and started reviewing as well. So there may be even some with 3. So if you submitted, you should have 1 review. I opened them up. At this point, we're sitting in the time where I'm going to give everybody opportunities to do peer reviews. Since there were only 16, what I did was I took the 16 people who had submitted, and I assigned randomly from the rest of the class about 4 people per submitted review. So every one of you has about 2, maybe 8 people. Yeah, maybe 8 people from the review. So every one of you has about 2 projects that you can look at. Okay? There's 2 ways the peer review helps. One, when you look at somebody else's reviews, you can give them feedback. How do you think they're doing? Does it look like they've made a good contribution? Do you see things in there that they could be doing better? Are they not citing things well? So you can provide them feedback as to what they're doing to make their contributions better. You can tell them if it looks like they're a little weak on commits, or open source contributions. You can tell them if they look really strong. So you're helping the person who submitted. The other thing you're doing is you get to look at least 2 other people's work. Okay, so that means that you can look at it and you can say, well, I don't have a full sample. I'm only seeing a very small part of the class. But at least I know whether I'm doing completely horribly or relatively well with respect to them. All right, so take a look at it, do the peer review. Please do the peer reviews. It will help out you, and it will help out the people that you are actually reviewing. I have this single blind, which means that if you I thought I had this in here somewhere. Yeah, well, I have it single blind, so if you review someone, you can see who it is you're reviewing, but they can't see who you are, which means be honest, right? It doesn't help anybody to tell them they're doing great when it looks like they've made a few contributes that correct a comma in one of the comments, right? That doesn't actually help them, so we leave it single blinded so you can be honest. And we also want you to be kind. There's no reason to use overly dramatic language or use personal expletives or insults. Be kind, be honest. I did, by the way, try to make this double blind, and then I realized that everybody has their GitHub name in their commits, so double blind isn't going to work anyway, and there is a bug with submitting on double blind as far as I can tell that I need to report. So I think at that point we're good. If you did submit, even while the peer reviews are going on, you can go in and look at what you have already, and you can actually see them roll in if you're so inclined. So I have both the peer reviews going on and the grades released or the gradable released, so you guys can look at it right now and see how you're doing and what you're going to do. If I did leave a comment for you that says something like, please talk to me, please talk to me. One of the things that we really need to do is make sure, as part of grading this course, we do need to make sure that, by the way, my battery is running low, light just came on, because while I was looking at YouTube videos on blacksmithing, I forgot to plug in my computer. There we go. Okay. Yeah, if I left a note saying, please talk to me, the way we have to look at what you're doing is we have to look at your sequence of commits. So if you're having problems figuring out how to do that, I can help with that, right? There are multiple ways. For example, if your customer is asking you to do a single commit at the end of the semester with all of your stuff pushed together, that doesn't stop you from making a clone of the repository, putting in all of your daily work as you go through every day, committing what you've done, and then at the end, before you make a pull request, and those can all be reported, and then at the end, before you make the pull request, you can do what's called squashing them down into a single commit that just looks like you brilliantly typed in everything you wanted into the file at the same time, right? So that allows us to see that you worked on it continuously throughout the semester, and allows them to see a very clean history, which is important for public repositories. Lots of commits are important for us. So we do want you to work in a way that allows us to do both of those. All right? Maybe I should even maybe I'll give a little, at next class, maybe I'll give a little example of how to do that. Anyway, again, if you're we need to see you making contributions. If you're having issues deciding how to do that, please see me, and see me as soon as possible. Like I said, I'm gone next week. You need to see me this week. If you didn't submit and you still want to, I'm not going to guarantee any peer reviews, and I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to get to them tonight. But I am willing to take another look at anybody who missed the deadline, or who didn't, or who's now kind of hoping to get a review. We talked this out with the mentors. The mentors signified that they would really like to give you guys an opportunity as well. So I can pretty much guarantee that we'll get you at least 2 or 3 reviews. But again, it may take a little bit longer, which is not ideal. We will do our best. All right, and I talked about this. You're going to be asked to review about 2 of your peers. And here's where I say the peer review is blind, kind but honest. Oh, and don't worry about grades on this. Your review is not going to affect somebody's final grade in this class. It's just an indication of where they stand and how much effort it looks like they've put in based on the commits they've been doing. All right. Alice, you want to run this? Alice is going to show you a peer review. Do you want to do it off your machine? Or actually, I'm going to do a, can I do a um, incognito window and have you log into Submit here? Well, no is okay. Okay. Are you on WebEx? Oh, well, that's easy then. Let me, give me just a second to switch over to WebEx. I should have actually coordinated this better. Let's see, I can go to WebEx here, which is going to give you guys some funky little chatter for now. Maybe. Okay, not yet. Okay, so if you share your screen, with any luck, it will come up, and I will follow it. There we go. There's where we get the infinity screen. I love when that happens. Okay, now I thought that infinity would have stopped. That is very odd. What do I have to do here? Ah, I know what I have to do. I have to stop sharing my screen. If only we knew how to do that. Can you guys see the unpin up there? There should be an unpin on my side of the screen, under the orange thing.
The remove from stage or the unpin is disabled for us, I think.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be for me. But I can't see it because I'm standing sideways. All right, I'm gonna do this for now. And now I can unpin. And now I can come back up to full size. Okay, and the question is, how does this look for people online? Why did that come back up?
Double.
Okay, if you double click on now that I've unlocked my screen, if you double click on Alice's screen, it should hopefully go back to single. The problem is I need something to record, and that's where we're running into problems. There we go. And I don't know why this just went away for all of you fine folk. WebEx isn't the worst program I've ever used, but it's not the best. I may have actually disconnected from the meeting. Hold on just a second. All right. I think we are back.
Can you not hear him? Dan, that's last one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's an echo. There's a lot of feedback.
Can y'all hear me?
Still echoing.
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Can you guys hear online?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, I might have to project a little bit so you guys can hear me because you all can see the screen. But so, when you're trying to grade your peers, sorry that took so long. That might have been a little easier if I did it on your computer. Oh no. Okay. You guys can't see my password as I type it in, so I guess I'll just re-log in because it timed out.
Unless your password is a bunch of dots.
You know what? You're so right. And if it was just like 20 dots, it would take so long for anyone to get it.
Yeah.
So that'd be incredible. But so the grading rubric will pop up. You might see the auto grading thing first. But so what you want to do is you want to click on this here green button, the rubric button. In order to actually edit any of these fields, I usually click on the gray button. And this is Professor Turner's file. It's going to be under submissions is where you're going to actually see anything. Oh, and he has a bunch of commits. Look at that. You're doing great, Professor. You might not fail this course. Ooh. But so you want to take a look at a few of their commits to make sure that they're doing something. Yeah, see, they made a one-line commit. Not too bad. That is a commit. It's might have been helpful, but this is just the guidelines, so I'm not sure if that's really what you're looking for here. So let's look at another one. I try to look at least 3. If there aren't, like, oh yeah, okay, big long file. That's a pretty good commit. So I just kind of look for good commits, and if I find 1 or 2, then that's probably a good indicator that there are more. You might want to check for more. I often do as well, but like if they have 1 or 2 big long commits, that's usually a good sign. So that was one big commit. Let's see one more, just for completeness. And that one is another one line. You just have a lot of guidelines in this repository, don't you? But so, I guess because there were just 2 one-line commits that we saw, I would do like 3. I wouldn't assign somebody a 3 right off like that. I'd look for more substantial commits because I want to make sure everyone like is being accurately graded. But 1 or 2, like, oh wait, actually this is the number of commits. There would be in quality. Sorry guys, I'm bouncing around a lot. But so here, I found a really high quality commit. I found a few one-liners, so that'd be like a nominal in the quality of commits. So I'd save that. Number of commits is pretty good. There's a pretty big chunk here, so I wouldn't give it 3 out of 5. And you gotta make sure you press save, because if you don't press save, I don't even know what will happen. It'll probably just not exist. Overall, like, if they have a bunch of good commits, tell them they have a bunch of good commits. They might have non-code commits that are really thorough, in which case they might get like a low number here in quality, but you might want to give them like high overall if they have like a bunch of good stuff that's not really code. So it's very subjective, but there is a rubric. Follow that. This is kind of my process. So I guess based on these 2 things and the things that we've seen, I would give Professor Turner a 4.
Booyah!
You should have more multiple line commit.
Now, in my defense, I do most of those in class. You guys don't want me typing a lot in class because I don't do it well.
All right, so yeah, that's how you do it. And then to go to another person, you'll use these buttons to cycle back and forth. I don't want to show any names. I am a mentor, so names will pop up, and I don't want to violate anybody's privacy there. But you can press the home button and then you'll go back to the screen and oh no, names, hiding. But so yeah, that's how you do that.
All right. And you notice that Alice left a comment. Leaving comments is good because, we are really, the numbers are numbers, right? What we're really trying to do is we're trying to give them feedback on how they're doing. So excellent use of the commenting. I think the only other thing I'm going to add is that what we're looking at is we're looking at how much effort you did during a week. If it looks like they spent 30 minutes a week on RCOS, that's not very good. If they're spending 20 hours a week, you look at their stuff, they're spending 20 hours a week, that's great, right? Well, that's probably not good either, actually. But, somewhere in the happy medium there. So that's kind of what you're doing. And that was an excellent explanation of that. For those of you who want to look at the commits thing, I guess maybe the next thing to do is me to get back to where I was. And I am going to try to lock this up again. Although, boy, I'll tell you, what a pain. Let's see. Control R locks it, maybe? Control R locks it. Oh no, I have to select the layout first. Like I said, WebEx is not the worst program I've used, but it is far from the best. And it's especially bad when I'm actually looking, in its defense, when I'm actually looking over my shoulder, trying to do things in mirror image order. I am not necessarily as not lock meeting. What's up here too? This is why I do all of this stuff before class. Sync my stage. There we go. Locked for everybody. Do a little sync. Pull me down onto here now. I should be back. And now, Alice, I'm sorry, I'm going to get rid of you. I think. There we go. All right, so Alice did peer reviewing. Wow. And she did a really good job despite my issues with this. I should have practiced this demo stuff. All right, so now let's look at the next part of this, which is having done that, how can you demo reading the review? So I actually did a review on myself when Alice and I were trying to debug this. So let's go in here. I can log into Submiti as well, I hope. Submiti.cs.rpi.edu. Come in. Hopefully I'm already logged in. I am. You guys can see all my grades, which are not impressive, quite honestly. But you can come down to the little green box that says View Grades. You can come in here. I was 3 days late. This is the initial thing you'll see, right? So I have I'm trying to figure out which one is Alice's and which one is mine, but it looks like this is kind of intermingled. What you want to do is you want to switch to feedback mode, and then you can select Peer 1, and you can see the grades that Peer 1 gave you, including any should be any comments. Oh, I think we may have forgotten to check your comment before you left it. That's okay. Exactly, that's the problem. But so you can see that I have a comment down here that says some comment here in my normal inimitable style. And then you can see Alice's evaluation as well. And if there was a comment down below, we would see that too. Okay? If you go to normal view, I'm not exactly sure what normal view is showing you because that's neither of our, maybe it's the average, I don't know, average rounded up or something, but that's neither of our evaluations. So anyway, that's how you do it. Go to feedback mode. It's going to be much more informative, and then you can click on peer 1 or peer 2. One of these peers is Alice, and one of these peers is me, and we're good. And I don't know, if you want, you can leave peer feedback. I have no idea what that does. I tried it. I left myself feedback. I couldn't find it anywhere on a subsequent screen. So you are welcome to leave feedback. You're encouraged to leave feedback. We will try to figure out where that comes in. If enough of you do it, I'm sure we'll find it. But I don't know what it does or where to see it. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pop up the chat again. All right, normal view is the, okay, Owen does tell me that the normal view is the average. And apparently it's, well, it has to be rounded, I guess, but excellent. So, there we go. That's kind of how to see it and how to look at it. It's kind of an interesting, a cool little tool. I'm sure it will get better, but it's not bad right now, and it does allow us to let you see other people's stuff and make some comments on it and get something going. The other thing we want to say is that we have presentations. The presentation schedule is here. I'm not going to click on that because I don't need to. Again, on Friday at midnight, you should have picked a slot. If you haven't, I'm going to assign one. We're targeting 10 minutes. We have a little bit of slop in the schedule if you want to go over. If you go under, that is also okay as long as you cover all of the stuff you need to cover. It's certainly possible on a project of 1 or 2 people. We don't penalize you for letting us get out of class early. I get tired of standing here too. No, but it does have to be good. We are looking for something that's good. Keep it tight. Be prepared for questions. This is what it looks like, at least as of, an hour ago. 9 of 25 of you have signed up. The last day is already fully booked. Okay, so we're now down to the next 3 days: Tuesday the 10th, Friday the 13th, and Tuesday the 17th. So please put in your preference. If we can fill up Tuesday the 17th and Friday the 13th, that makes it really easy for me. I just go down and assign everybody else to Tuesday the 10th. But that's kind of where we stand. If you have any questions about how to proceed, what we're going to do is we're going to do a combination of sharing the screen, hopefully better than I did it now. I hadn't realized that I would have so many problems because I'm presenting to my screen to the class. It's causing other issues that we didn't have when I was doing this in my basement. So I will practice. I will get this better. If you want to present from your computer, you can present just like Alice did, except with a more competent audio-visual guy, me. Hopefully I'll be practiced up by then. If you want to send me your slides ahead of time, I'm happy to present them as well. Either one of those will work. Everyone on your team should be prepared to come up here and say something. You don't have to, alternate slides or anything like that. You can pick sections that you want to present, but you should all plan on having a voice in it. And I haven't tried doing mixed mode with people online and people in person, but we will make that work as well. What the heck? We can do anything. For the people watching the presentations, what I do is we have this little presentation evaluation form. This one says summer 2020, but I did generate, this link will go to 2021. I'm going to ask you to fill out an evaluation form. The evaluation form is pretty simple. It just asks you, and by the way, this is mentors, you know, the general audience, everybody is welcome to put in an evaluation of each project. So, you know, if everybody puts in one on every project, we have about 70 times 25. You know, that's a lot of evaluations. But that's okay. We want your email. That's just to make sure that I can disambiguate everyone. The project name, the name of the project you are evaluating, your role. And then we use the same kind of 1 to 5 point scale. Effectiveness of the presentation is an overall score. Did the presentation effectively transmit the information that was intended to you? You know, style points count. Demos are good ways to very quickly raise your effectiveness. If you can give us a good demo. Title and teammates are for grading purposes. If you leave off title and teammates, it makes it hard for us if we go back and view your presentation to know who worked on it and what it was. Description, this should be a high level. It's worth about 20%. You know, so these two are just worth 10%. 30% is on the effectiveness of the presentation. The description, 20%. If I was in an elevator and I had an angel, a venture capitalist standing next to me, and I wanted to get funding for your RCOS project, what is it you're trying to do, right? I mean, they talk about these as 30-second descriptions. They can be longer. You have 10 minutes. But the idea here is, you know, don't tell me all the details of trying to set up the routing table in, you know, in whatever JavaScript you're using. Tell me instead what you're trying to do, right? So that so that we can conceptualize why setting up the routing tables was important and particularly useful. Project organization. We are doing open source projects. Okay, open source projects need to look at, or at least need to consider, the communities in which they're trying to embed themselves, right? So this organization, I want to know a little bit about how your project is organized from the standpoints of, you know, are you using a blessed repository? Are you everybody collaborating and checking into the same repository? Do you have guidelines for contribution, community guidelines? You know, what have you put together to help build a community or to sustain or, you know, reach out to a community? And by the way, I want you to tell me what you thought about, right? You don't necessarily have to have 1,000 different getting started guides, right? If you're two people and you're starting from scratch, you probably don't need something that says be nice to one another, unless you don't like each other, in which case, yeah, maybe you do, right? But, you know, this can be scaled to your project. What I want to know is that you thought about it, right? I want to know all the stuff you have, but I want to know that you thought about the stuff you didn't have. So just tell me how you're organized, the things you're looking at, what you're trying to build in your community. And then progress, this is where you tell me about the routing tables, right? This is where the details go. We're looking here for, and this is the project organization is 20%. You can see that the progress, right? We're going to get a lot of progress out when we start evaluating your commits. The progress here is only worth 10%. And I will tell you that in general, it's going to take up 75% of your presentations because everybody likes to talk about progress. That's okay, but it's not the most important thing in your presentation. But here, you know, if you want to discuss, you know, we got started and we found out that Docker is completely broken, so we had to reinvent Docker from scratch, and that slowed down the project by 3 or 4 hours. You know, that's okay. That's the parts. We want to know the interesting stuff here. We want to know, you know, what could your project, if you're a continuing project, what could your project do at the start of the semester, and what can it do now that it couldn't do? So those are the kind of things to kind of keep in mind. And by the way, if you notice, this form that you all have access to is exactly the rubric, right? So you come down through here, you mark some stuff. Again, be honest, but be kind. The way I use this, my vote generally counts more than everybody else's. If you guys can't necessarily talk me into giving everybody 100 on this, but I do actually allow you to pull me up. I rarely let you pull me down. Okay, so generally my score is the baseline. You can only go up from there. And actually, I should rephrase that. We have Professor Makis on the view. What I do when we have multiple instructors is I actually take and I'll average ours, and then you guys can pull us up, but not down. Except in rare circumstances where there was something we missed that we get some comments on, and then we will consider it. But that's, in general, what you're doing is you're pointing out things in the presentation that we missed. Professor Makis, you have anything to add on this front? Anything you particularly want to see? This is the time we can ask them to.
I'm trying to think about something specific. It would be nice to talk about inside of this was sort of the point, I think, of project organization. But if you were to assume...
I'm not actually hearing you.
Oh, that's not good. Let me fix that.
Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody is hearing you except for us. Try again. I'm sorry. Apparently I turned off the sound system. Yeah, I turned off the sound system so we didn't get the echo with Alice. And boy, this is going to be rough.
All right. All that I was going to say, I'll try to be quiet about it, is that I think this was part of the point of project organization. But I'd like to see if you assume that you're going to be captured by gypsies, or you're not going to be here next semester. What have you put in place so that if someone wants to continue on with your project or contribute to it, that it can continue that forward thrust over time?
Awesome point. We call that the bus test, but the gypsy test works even better.
Yeah.
Especially after having to work all summer, I can see some people running off with the gypsies.
Exactly, yes.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. All right, so any questions? Okay, so I think we're in good shape. When I started writing the slides today, I thought this was going to be a fast one. I knew about halfway through that it wasn't. Here's just the rubric. This is the rubric on paper. It's no different than the rubric in the form. So, it just says a little bit about the same thing. I will try to add Professor Makis's answer in the project organization or his suggestion in the project organization, and put that into the RCOS documents, because that's actually a really good one to throw in there as well. Awesome. Excellent is 5, needs work or not addressed is 1, and we will scale from there. Rainbow grades are up to date. I have everything except for Friday's attendance in right now, including the 7/16 status update. So that's all set up. You should be able to see your stuff. Let me know if there are issues, but do it quickly so I can get all of these wrapped up and thrown away. And maybe I should turn off my head view now that you can see there's actually a person here talking. We can stop me talking so that you can actually see the thing. Again, next week I'm not here. Still continue to meet in your small groups at least twice a week, and there will be a status update due at the end of next week, even though we don't have a meeting on Tuesday, and we will have somebody else standing here, probably looking better than me. All right, that's it. Attendance is here. Let me pop up the venue thing as well. But you guys can start taking attendance, and we should be good. Okay, there we are. All right, so there's the attendance. We're done for the day. Begin dispersing. We'll have class on Friday, and then we're not going to have class the next Tuesday, a week from today, and then we'll have class on Friday again. All right? Any questions? Type them in, ask them. And we should be good. I'll hang out for about an hour in case there's any questions. Leave the room open.